Hi everybody, Russ from My Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you're made aware of any time we put new content on. As always, we'd like to thank our channel sponsors, Untuck It. Check them out in the description below. Do what little Russ says and like, comment and subscribe. We've got another episode of our new series, Outside the Bubble, where we interview fans from outside of West Ham. Oh my God. Yeah, there are plenty who don't support West Ham. And today we've got Mike from Matchday Vlogs, who is a Southampton fan. There he is. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you, Russ? Keeping well?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad, to be honest. Not too bad. How's lockdown treating you?
Yeah, pretty mixed. Pretty mixed.
Yeah.
I think the last 12 months without live football have been pretty horrendous for most people, with everything else going on. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to hopefully, when June rolls around, we've got a bit more of a summer to look forward to. So
yeah, summer of sport, isn't it? It really is a summer of sport, hopefully.
Yeah.
So yeah, be good. And of course, potentially if Boris's roadmap works, then our last game of the season against you will have 10,000 fans in the London Stadium.
Maybe.
I'll
Yeah,
take
no,
that.
like I said, that'll be the case, really. Do you reckon there'll be away fans allowed in for that? No, it's all home.
No. That's no. I think it's be 10,000 home fans, so it really is home territory. But and then hopefully, if everything works, then come August, we should have full capacity down at St Mary's again. So that would be great, isn't it?
That would be
I
good.
think it's it started off as like a being unusual. Now it's sort of become normal, hasn't it? I think, unfortunately, no fans there.
Right.
So it's going to be, where the Premier League is a weird season this year. I think next season will be a weird season as well because players be trying to readjust to having fans in the
I know, right?
fans in the stadium. I know, it's just crazy.
I don't know about you, but I've watched way more football than I normally would have done in this period. And I think, you look at like the Sunday afternoon, you think, oh, can I get away with watching 2 games today? Will my wife mind if I watch it? I'm thinking I'm watching 4 games on the Saturday, 4 games on the Sunday. And like, got this on the iPad in the background and thinking,
there's nothing else to watch though, is it? I've completed Netflix, so that's what we have to watch. And obviously, you guys were on BBC yesterday. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
BBC terrestrial TV unfortunately wasn't the result that I know that you wanted, but
shocking.
Yeah, it was actually, weren't it? It was pretty shocking. I'll be honest. Riding high at the beginning of the season, it's just all come a little bit crashing down it for Ralph, isn't it? It seems
the wheels are well and truly off at the moment. It's I think. Well, I'm not sure how deep you want to go into yesterday's fixture, but it was weirdly, I think it was actually probably my most disappointing display I think we've had all season in a weird way, because it was a game there that we could have won. And on paper, we were looking at it thinking, yep, there we go. Stick a nice extra buffer on it, but really confusing.
Yeah. Well, it's ironic because actually yesterday was one of the most frustrating games for a lot of West Ham fans as well, because we thought we could have got something easily at Man United if we'd had a go. We didn't have a go, and so which is just like just a weird change in perspective from last season, where we'd want to have a go against Burnley, and Sheffield United. Now we're disappointed that we only lost 1-0 to Man United. It's a bit of a strange one at the moment. It is very strange at the moment, but we'll enjoy it while we can. And obviously, you guys were enjoying it at the beginning of the season, and you were riding high. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Do you think for Southampton? Do you think it's almost like, as you said, the wheels have come off, and it's almost like you're just gonna. It's almost like sort of treading water for the end of this season. Start again in the summer, and off we go.
Yeah, no, I think it genuinely is. I mean, the strange thing is, we've had a horrendous run of form over the last. Well, we've picked up 4 points over the last 12 games, and you pick up 4 from potential 36. It doesn't look good.
No.
But in the same respect, it's really strange to think. Ralph in his tenure at Southampton has lost heavily on 2 particular occasions, which I'm sure all of your viewers will know all about. I don't need to mention them at all. But yet the Southampton fan base are still well behind him.
Yeah,
there are still, and I guess it's similar to like what's going on at Liverpool in the regard, in the fact that they're having a horrid time at the moment. But the fans are still behind the manager, and I think at the moment, I'll be very honest with you, if the next few fixtures in the Premier League don't have something, I can see it slightly turning in against Ralph. But we're all thinking about next season, and I think you look at what happened to Sheffield United last season and their sort of horrible run out, the way they closed up, and then they started this season off the way they did, and look where they are. I think that's in the back of people's mind. But realistically, we need to get 2 wins, and it's done for this season. Rebuild in the summer, and but you need momentum. You need momentum going into a season, and that's what we're thinking about now.
Yeah, it's really true, man. It's really true. I don't think as long as you don't pick up 3 points the last game of the season, because that's going to be.
We might need them.
We will bloody need them. Hopefully, for different reasons, which again, very very unusual place to be for us, as we're used to having, saving our season with 3 or 4 games to go, so it's a bit different. But I know what you mean. It's and obviously, the ironic thing was the other day, the club official Twitter feed put up a video from the last game before lockdown or for restart, which in front of fans, which was actually a Southampton game. And obviously that was the last game. That was over a year ago that we had fans in the stadium. It's weird, isn't it? It's to think. Like a whole year. It's like I work in market research, and we're doing another project for a council who did it it's not another sort of COVID survey, but a year on, and it's like it's just a year on. It's ridiculous, man. It's the world's just gone mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think back then we were all thinking September back to normal.
Yeah,
I would have never expected that we'd still be doing this in March the following year. It's just beyond me. And when that anniversary passed of our last home game at St Mary's, it was kind of like, is that really a year ago?
Yeah,
it's just
time seems to go into this weird vortex. It seems like the other day someone was talking to me about David Martin, and when he debuted against Chelsea away, and he kept a clean sheet, and Alvin was his dad, and they were hugging on the, it was a beautiful thing. But that was over a year. That was last season. It seemed like 3 or 4 years ago. I think we're gonna, like in history books, you're gonna have like pre and post COVID, aren't you? Really, it's like it's that the whole world has changed. But as long as you said, hopefully we'll get everyone back soon, and as you said, you can start again next season and see what happens. Where do you guys think? Where do you think you need to strengthen for next season? What's your sort of areas of I don't know what the word is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where we're lacking. I mean, I think for us, we're lacking in like the right back and left back positions, and that's sort of caused us to, like, for instance, last week when we played against Man City, ironically, I thought we played pretty decent football on that night when we had Ryan Bertrand, who normally plays left back, playing in right back, and then a centre defender playing Salisu playing in left back, and we had Jack Stevens, who's normally a centre back, playing in the number 6 role in midfield. It was a complete mess. We looked at the formation, we were thinking, there's no way that's actually what it is, and it actually was. The fact we had 4 central defenders on the pitch, but for us, it's because we don't have backups for those positions. So like, and Ralph famously said in his press conference, we tried, but no one was willing to loan out players or sell players in their position, and we were like, well, we did, because we let Jake Vokins go to Sunderland and Jan Valery go to Birmingham City, who are now, they're just sat on the bench. They're both left back and right back positions. So it was just a real mess. But I think for us, we need backups in both those positions that are of Premier League quality. I think we need a new goalkeeper. I'm a massive Fraser Forster fan, but it's just, I think maybe his day is gone, really. And I think realistically we need to be looking at another striker as well, because the writing's on the wall for what Danny's doing with his contract. So I got no ill feeling to Danny in that regard whatsoever, because you've got to be realistic and think, how many years has he got left playing football, and if you're earning 65 grand a week at St Mary's when you could be earning twice as much playing for someone take my Southampton fan hat off. You just got to be realistic in those regards.
Yeah, true.
So,
it is true.
But I'm sure we'll bring someone into the mix and get the most out of a younger, different player. So
it's true, isn't it? There's certain, there is in the Premier League, there are tiers, aren't there? And it's Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to be in the top tier, but it's still only a few people in the top tier, and I think we're similar to you guys in that being that sort of middle league this year.
Right.
We've outperformed where we thought we was going to.
You're winning that middle league, aren't you?
We're winning that middle league, yeah, for once. Yeah, exactly. It's funny, there's a change in mentality when I looked at I think it was a few weeks ago when it was the Man City Liverpool game, and I was like, oh, that's a good result for us. And I sat there thinking, oh my God, this is Man City Liverpool. It's not like Burnley, Brighton, thinking, oh, yeah, get a good point. It's a point there. So yeah, it's weird, but hey, we'll enjoy it while it lasts. We'll see what happens next year. That's all I'm bothered about now. It's not about where we finish this year; it's where we finish next year.
Are you worried about losing anyone in the summer? Given the performance, no,
not really. Okay. I think it's. I think they've actually been quite shrewd in what they're doing. So, I mean, there was always a thing with Declan Rice. Oh, is Declan Rice going? Oh, is he going? When's he going? When's he going? Obviously, there was the Chelsea thing, and obviously Lampard left, and that sort of kiboshed that a little bit. But City, he to be honest, Declan Rice could walk into any Premier League team and improve them. So, slight worry about that. But then, with Mark Noble basically signing a 1-year extension, so he's retiring at the end of next season. That's a sort of a career roadmap for Declan. So, if we get, I'm 98% sure we'll be in Europe in some form this year because there's 3 competitions. We've got to get into one of them. And then, that's enough for Declan. He'll still be in the Euros. He's still going to be first choice Europe, in terms of England. And then after, next season, he'll have the keys to the Palace if he wants them. So we'll see what happens. And he'll be a big fish in a small pond. The Czech boys, obviously Souček and Soufal, obviously the rumblings of people after them. But I'll be honest, Souček's a fantastic player. He's got a knack of scoring. He's not I won't say he's particularly creative. So, when teams like Barcelona and people are potentially after him, I don't know how to fit into Barcelona team. He hasn't got that guile about him. Yeah, he can score. He's a goal scoring midfielder, but he wouldn't suit them. If that makes sense, it just wouldn't suit them. And obviously, the fact he's got his mate right back as well. He's quite shrewd. They're not going to, it's almost like they've travelled together, so they're going to stay together for a bit. And if rumours are to believed, we may get a couple more Czech boys in the summer. So, that's fine by me. That's fine by me. But I think for us, it's a striker. Is our key thing this season, this transfer window. A proper striker. No disrespect to Antonio, who we may be talking about in a minute. But yeah, he's not a striker. So I think there's rumblings, but we'll see. Plenty of good players about. Anyway, so. As I said, the whole point of this is to, spend a little time seeing how your season's going, yada, yada, yada. But then we try and put together an 11 of players who have played for both teams. Now, as we said before we recorded, a slight struggle, I'll be honest. A slight struggle, but we've got there. We'll get there. And in terms of what we do is, the away team goes first. So basically, we'll go through position by position, or we'll go like in goal, defenders, because obviously you might want to put players in different positions just to make sure they fit. So it's all right. And you say who you got. I've got. If you've got the same player, great, they go straight. And if not, then we discuss, and usually I concede to the away team anyway. So between the sticks. Who have we got between the sticks then, my friend?
Well, we've only got one choice, haven't we? It's Peter Shilton.
Yeah. There is another choice. There is another choice. Richard Wright is another choice.
Oh, okay.
But he ironically, I don't think he played for West Ham, and obviously I don't think Peter Shilton played. No, he didn't. Neither player really played for West Ham. But
I know
you've got to put Shilton in. We have to Peter Shilton just because it's Peter Shilton. So that's an easy given. Yeah, I think Richard. I think he came. I think he was on loan for like 6 months or something like that. Third choice, never bless him, never got anywhere, and neither did Schultz really. Actually, I remember going to his 1000th career league game or something like that. It was at Orient at the time, and they had 10,000 people in Brisbane Road watching that game. But yeah,
nice.
Memories. Right, yeah, so Schultz is in. So there we go. Shilton. Brilliant. Let's take out that one. Fantastic. Right, okay. defenders. First defender, then, Mike. Who have we got?
A bit more notoriety. Let's go with Wayne Bridge in the left back position.
Yes, see, I've gone with him as well. You see, sometimes it works. Sometimes we literally get this. Wayne Bridge, obviously, how did he get? He must have played a fair few games for Southampton.
Yeah, no, well, he's a Southampton academy player, so started his career off at Southampton, and then I think in 2003 went on to Chelsea, and had all those. Everything else go on in his life.
Everything else go on, yeah, indeed. Yeah, he came. I think he came on loan to us from Man City. Yeah, played a few games. I should have. I never do my research for him, but yeah, played a few games. I mean, he was. I just don't think we had a whole spate of getting loan left backs at the time, and he was sort of the conveyor belt, so to speak. But I mean, he was all right. He was all right for us. I think he sort of was coming to the end. He made 18 appearances for the club. There we go. 2010-11 season. There we go. A little bit of stats for everybody. All right, so we'll put Bridgie in. Yeah, nice bloke as well. Nice guy. He was good on Joe Cole's podcast the other day. Very good in that. Okay. Very good. Right, Wayne Bridge is in. Right, that's first. I'm going to have to make a note. Right, first defender. Who's your next defender then, Mike?
My next defender would be someone who I think we were desperately sorry to leave. Southampton would be Jose Font.
Yeah, I've put Jose Fonte as well in. I mean, he was sort of one of those for us. There was like a spate of buying. I mean, I was really happy we signed him because obviously he was quality. And for me, he should have been better. I think he was going a little bit for the payday, if I'll be honest. I think for West Ham, we got lots of similar. We got him in. I think we got Alvaro Arbeloa as well, former Liverpool and Real Madrid. So it's like we're trying to get this sort of. It was almost like a Galactico sort of thing, but didn't really work. But obviously, he was a legend at Southampton, wasn't he?
Massive legend for us. I mean, he played in League One for us, played in the Championship for us, and then right up to the Premier League, and held his own. And the games I saw him play with Virgil van Dijk in that position. I mean, to look at a Southampton team on a pitch and think our defense is so good, so good during that era. I mean, that pairing was unstoppable. And when you're playing with the likes of Virgil van Dijk, I mean, you're only going to up your game even more so. So, and we were under no illusions of what was ever going to happen with Virgil van Dijk. I mean, you just knew it when you saw him playing on a pitch that he was always going to go and play for some Galactico side. It's just a shame it's Liverpool, really. But no, I mean, when Jose Font left, it was just the weirdest thing for us because we just literally got into the Europa League, so we're going into the group stages, and then all of a sudden, we had Claude Puel as our manager at the time, and there just seemed to be a bit of a run-in. And he just didn't feature. And then next thing we know, he's sort of quietly gone out the door to West Ham. And we were just bemused by that because of the fact that, like you say, he's a bit of a club legend for us.
Exactly. And it was I think it was like 8 million or something we bought him for, which seems an absolute bargain. In retrospect, he did all for us really, but but you know what I mean in terms of you guys, the impact he made. Again, I thought he only probably played about 25 games. I think we shipped him out. Obviously because Slav got sacked, and I mean it never really worked out for him. I don't think at West Ham. And it happens quite often at West Ham. It seems that nothing quite works out, unfortunately. So so we got Bridge, we got Font, I put Schultz in. Right, who is your next defender?
My next defender. This is where it gets a bit shady for me, if I'm honest. This is where I start doing my Wikipedia research. But I have Darren Powell.
Darren Powell. I've got Darren Powell in as well, actually. Darren Powell. Yeah, he was. Sometimes when you get like a loan signing who comes in who's actually quite good. He came in. I think he was on loan from. I think he got him on loan from Palace. I think. And he was quite good. He was like really solid, a really solid defender. Only played about a dozen games for us, if that. But he was. Well, he included. He's in the team. He played more times than Peter Shilton did for us. So that's something about him. What was he like at Southampton?
I'll be honest with you.
5
It's
games.
probably not too much to say there, really. I mean, it's the other two defenders I got in that position. I'm thinking, okay, cool, nice to know.
Yeah.
But
Thanks for
he's obviously still doing his thing. I got the impression he was very much a London lad. Sort of his roots around Crystal Palace sort of era. So lots of moving around.
Well, he paid for both for each 3 counts. Right. Okay. So we've got Bridge, Font, we've got Darren Powell. One more defender. Who are we going to have? Who's the next defender?
I only have one more left that I can find, which is Richard Hall.
Richard Hall. There we go. No, Richard Hall. I had someone else, but Richard Hall. Yeah, I had something else. I had something else, but Richard Hall. Yes. Hopefully, we'll get him on soon. Actually, he was really unfortunate. Richard Hall was in that he never really featured much for us. He got injured. Again, I think we got him from you guys as well. I believe. And just never. I think he only made like 8 substitutions or 8 appearances, something like that. Not loads of games, old Rich, unfortunately. But obviously he was a strong player for you guys as well. And I think paid just under £2 million from him. I think it was mid-90s, something like that. I think with Richard Hall. Yeah, he's a lovely guy, top bloke. What was he like at the Saints?
Well, it's one of those players that was sort of featured, bit ridiculed with injuries, but during that time, I think it was Dave Merrington manager at that time, and sort of around that sort of era. So, but yeah, firm start. I think also his sort of contract was running on, and I think there was an issue with that, and all of a sudden he goes to you pretty cheaply. So he did
was
very
quite
well
cheap.
there.
But I've put someone else.
Okay,
I've put someone else in that because we had to get 4 defenders. So what we do, I think we'll put Richard Hall in because I love Richard, and as I say, he's coming on the show soon. So
keep it sweet,
keep it sweet. But I put another person who's been on the show as well, Razor Ruddock. I cannot not have a team without the last person to have adorned the back of my shirt was Razor Ruddock. Actually, tell a lie, 2 shirts, home and away. I had Razor on one and Ruddock on the other. And I mean, he played over 100 games for you guys, must have done something like that. And was part of our, until now, probably our most successful time in the Premier League. And a complete nutter. So when we interviewed him, and it's the worst thing I ever did and the best thing I ever did. When I interviewed, halfway through the interview, I had a knock on the door and we was getting our dishwasher repaired. And I said, Ray, I'm really sorry, mate. The dishwasher man's just come. Can like literally 5 minutes. And so I was like, and I left him to his own devices. Razor Ruddock left on his own is about 100 times as scary as talking to him with he was just like with his own thoughts, so much so that I had to clip it all to put it as like a Twitter video because it was just like absolutely hilarious. But no, he was a top guy for us, complete nutter. Famously got at one Christmas party, got arrested and got a 2-mile exclusion zone from Romford town centre. And unfortunately, within those 2 miles is our training ground. So he couldn't actually turn up to training because he was banned from that area. And Harry had to go and plead to the judge to reduce it sufficiently so he could go training. But no, he's brilliant. But we'll put Richard in because I like Richard. So you're not going to get much change out of those defenders.
No,
not getting much change. That's what I'm saying. And the goalkeeper.
And the likes of Razor Ruddock, today with VAR, I'm not sure he would last too many minutes on the pitch.
No games at all. Razor Ruddock, Julian Dix, Thomas Repka, nope, none at all. And we love them for it. Right, let's go into midfield. Okay, right. Who's your first midfielder?
My first midfielder is Mikel Antonio.
Good man, Mikel Antonio. He's in because I actually put him in on the right wing for me because he's really a winger.
Did he play right back as well? Did he play all along the right side?
Yeah. He played right back in the last season at the Bowling. or around that season with Slaven Bilic, and then sort of played right wing, then up front, and obviously that's where he's sort of stuck at the moment in sort of this forward position. He's very close to becoming our top Premier League goal scorer of all time. So I think he's on 45, something like that, goals. I think Paolo's got 49, so he should well surpass that. And I like him. I like Antonio because he's like very similar, like Jamie Vardy. You know, he's gone through the leagues. He's got, he hasn't just turned up at an academy in the Premier League and that's it. You know, he's just found his way. He's, I think he's great. And obviously he used to play for you guys as well.
He did.
Antonio, bless him.
Back when we were down in the lower league. So, he's, like you said, he's earned his craft and doing what he does. So, but no, fantastic player. Certainly one we admire from afar now.
He's the type of player that I'd love to. If I was Gareth Southgate going to the Euros, yes, you've got some great. You got Ings, you got some great strikers and people like that. But he's totally different. A bit like obviously Traore in Wolves. You'd throw him on for 15 minutes and just let him bulldoze defenders and wingers and stuff. But no, he won't because he plays for West Ham. So therefore, we're not bitter. Mikel Antonio, he's in. Right, let me make a note. Antonio is in. Who is next?
I got Lewis Bermorte.
Yes, Lewis Bermorte. He's in mine as well. I'm going to put him here. There. How many games? How long did he play for you guys?
I think it's like one season. It wasn't much at all, and I don't think it was much of a feature. I think he scored one goal in a defeat that we had as well. So it wasn't much of notoriety. And when you think of Lewis Bermorte, you probably don't think of him in a Saints shirt. But that's the way of it is, really.
It is. I think you
learn everything you know at the Saints.
He played. Yeah, exactly. He played a lot of. He was there. I think he was at West Ham for like 5 seasons. Lewis Bermorte.
Right.
Yeah, must have been over 100 games he's played. 100 games. I think he scored 2 goals. I think he scored 1 goal in his first season and 1 goal in his last season or something like that. And the other 98 go nothing. Nothing. And people didn't really like him, but when we've interviewed players of those eras, most of them pick him because he must have been one of those players you just, there's certain sort of pieces of like missing pieces of the puzzle. You don't know you need them until it's right at the end and you've missed one piece. And and he was like that, I think, old Louis. Bless him. I keep trying to see if he wants to come on, but he don't want to come because he works, I don't know, some Portuguese club at the moment, bless him. But so we're getting there. We've got some pace. We've got some pace on one wing, and then we've got Louis on the other wing. Right. Who's next?
Bittersweet. Nigel Quashie.
Yeah. I've got Nigel Quashie. 1T2. Oh, bless him. Oh, bless Nige. Yes. Didn't set the world alight at West Ham, I'll be honest. In fact, he's one of only 5 people with the letter of surname begin with Q who have ever played for West Ham. There we go. Little pointless fact. I think he only played 8 games for us. Bless him. I think he bought him from West Brom or something like that. What did he set the world alight at the Saints?
Well, no. I mean, he came along with agent Harry Redknapp. Doing that switch from Pompey to Saints, which I think
everyone loves.
Yeah, Nigel was particularly happy where he was treated at Portsmouth. But then he came to Southampton to hopefully save us from relegation, and it didn't work. He came with a slight injury, and I think then he didn't play until sort of later on in the season. And we all know what happens in the end of that season, and and the mass exodus, and off he went. So
Oh well, bless him. Bless. Right, okay. So we got Quasi. So we got Antonio, we got Quasi, we got Bermorte. Have we got space for one more midfielder?
I was struggling here. I was trying to find. So I've actually put Ian Dowie in there because I can't put him up front because I think he scored more against us than he did for us. So Yeah.
I've got one more.
Oh, okay.
We'll keep that. We'll put Dowie because I've got him actually up front. Okay. But the one I've put in is well, I think he only made about 30 appearances for you guys, I believe. The Israeli maestro himself, Eyal Berkovic.
Oh, okay.
You see, Eyal Berkovic. Obviously, I think he was on loan to you guys, wasn't he? I think technically, but he made I don't know 30, 40 appearances for you guys. Was a legend at West Ham, really, because he transformed John Hartson into this fantastic striker. And I'm going to put him in. I'm going to pull rank.
Fair enough.
Because he's actually a midfielder, but I'm going to full rank. But yes, no, I like your style, and I normally I would be all in for the for putting Ian in because actually I might play him later on. We'll see who we've got for strikers, to be honest. But yeah,
it's funny.
Make it up as we go along, and it means you've got guile. We've got Quaz, we've got that sort of grit, and then we've got a bit of skill in that midfield. Him and Antonio would work quite well together, I believe. Right, God bless Eyal Berkovic. Oh, he's lovely. Right, okay, so strikers. Who's your first striker?
This was tough. I mean, I think none of these two are going to get golden boot. It's not even close. Maybe you have a goalkeeper that's got more chance of getting golden boot than these two. Henri Camara.
Yep. Okay, who's your other striker? Just so we can see.
David Connolly.
Okay, right, good, right. Okay, right, yes. We'll start with David Connolly because I like David Connolly. He was a good player for us. Well, clearly not for you.
Well, hardly prolific. Should we say?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't prolific for us as well. And in fact, the story went of he signed when we went down. Famously, and he was playing all through pre-season, and then we signed Neil Mellor on loan from Liverpool. We picked him up. We were playing Preston that day or that weekend. We picked him up on the way to the training session in Preston. Rather than come down, Glenn Roeder, God rest his soul, said, stay in Pret. We'll pick you up at a service station. They picked up Neil Mellor at a service station. He played one training session and started the game ahead of David Connolly, by all accounts. He was furious.
That's why.
He was furious. That's why he should be him. But Connolly. He should have been a good player. I think he should have scored a lot more goals. He was sort of that sort of wily, nippy, bitey midfield, sort of striker, but just not consistently, and clearly by your disdain, not for the same side.
Well, it was kind of around that era of the sort of the resurgence as well. So I guess there's a bit of good feeling on that regard, from the direction we were going in during that era. So that there were just other players of more note during that period that stuck out and made it on the match day profiles and stuff like that. So
yeah, of course. Right. Okay. So you've got Henri Camara. We've still got Ian. I've got Ian Dowie, and you've picked Ian Dowie technically.
Yeah.
So I think Dowie. I'd also put down David Speedy. He only played a handful of games for you guys, and I think actually he was on loan from you to us when he played for us, like in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But David Speedy famously scored. No, he didn't score the goal. He scored the first of two goals, which took us up that season. So that's why I remember it, because I remember it was my first proper season being a West Ham fan. And, last game of the season, I think it was Cambridge. He scored the first, I believe. And Clive Allen scored the second. It was the first time I'd seen a pitch invasion. So it was always sort of so much so. I remember I almost got knocked out by a rope ladder from the top tier. Someone had brought, I don't know how they got it through security. Security was very lax. It was the early 90s. They'd thrown a rope ladder over the first over the top tier.
And they were lower lip.
Yeah, to get to the pitch. Yeah. Could you imagine nowadays? Although it's like
ahead.
That is some real planning. That's confidence as well, isn't it? Could you imagine, because I think we was really close with Portsmouth that season to go up. And,
well done, you. Well done.
Yeah, well, that's me. Well done. Enough said. End of. And so, yeah, could you imagine? He was like, what you got on there? What you got there, John? Nah, nothing. Don't worry. Don't worry. So road bladder. Nah. But and Ian Dowie. I mean, let's talk about Ian Dowie because he scored the best own goal ever for West Ham against Stockport, which got replayed about 1 million times when we got drawn in the FA Cups in this season. And I thought Dowie particularly, I thought he'd be absolutely. I could just imagine him at home with a cup of tea watching that FA Cup draw, and where Stockport have been drawn against West Ham. What? Yeah. I'll just let it all die down. But obviously, he played a shed load of games for you, didn't he? A shed load of games for Southampton.
He did, and also it's kind of like it was actually he played in the first game I went to the Dell to see, and it was a real magic era of you had Alan Shearer up front, you had Ian Dowie on the pitch, you had Tim Flowers in goal, Matt Letiz, Franny Benali, just all these club legends that we now see on murals on the way to the ground and stuff like that. So fair play. It's he's definitely in and amongst it with those players. But I guess when you're in the shadow, so to speak, of the Alan Shearers and the Matt Letiz and the Franny Benalis, you kind of sort of down the pecking order. But what a great time to be a Southampton fan.
Well, I was going to say, old Benali looked quite good yesterday. He was doing with Kelly. He was doing a bit of a pitch side interview, wasn't it? Because Kelly used to do the stuff at West Ham, so that's why I know Kelly quite well. And I was like, he looks all right, Ben. He looked good. He looked good. He looked really good, man.
What a bloke, though, eh?
Top man. God, dear him. Just the amount of money he raised as well is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Well, that's the team we've managed to cobble together.
It's pretty good.
And obviously, the manager would have to be Harry Redknapp.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Love it or hate it. Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
It'd have to be H. And we could obviously put Darren Powell on the bench. David Speedy can go on the bench. Omri Camara and Richard Wright could go on the bench. Robbie Slater, he could go on the bench. Robbie Slater, see you later. So we've managed to get although we sort of we joke we've got an 11 together. How they'd perform, I do not know, but that's not
how they perform with VAR. I see Ruddock going off in the 5th minute.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I can see. Yes, exactly. I think Dowie tended to stray off, go offside quite a lot, to be honest. So, yes, and obviously this would be Shilton in his pomp, not Shilton today. Bless him. Of course.
Well, so legend of football. Peter Shilton. I remember sort of growing up with Peter Shilton's football goalkeeping guide. It's fantastic stuff like that.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant when you see stuff like that. No, it's great, isn't it? And that's why I like doing these, because just like you go through and you see a lot of play. Oh God, I forgot about him. Oh, and I forgot about him. And obviously the stuff I do is we interview. We do like fans and do their Hammers 11s. And to be honest, a lot of them are very similar. A lot of them are quite similar. Because it's like it's Joe Cole or it's It's all a generational thing. So it's nice to give Nigel Quasi a shout out. Do you know what I mean? If anything else, I'll drop him an Insta and I'll say, Nigel, you're in, mate. You're in the squad. Yeah. Ray's will love the fact he's in the squad, because Ray's loves the fact that he's in anything. He'll retweet it. So that's always good. And Bridgie as well, but that's good. Mike, man, thanks, man. It's been a giggle. As I said, we got about half an hour. It's been fun, a bit different. It's good to sort of chat to you guys, and maybe we'll do something towards the end of the season to do come on, we'll do like a match preview or whatever they do. I don't usually do that, but it's the last game of the season. D-Mob happy, isn't it? You'll be safe. We'll be in Champions League. Yeah. It's all
absolutely.
Good.
No, that'd be that'd be great.
Definitely do that. So thank you, mate. And obviously thanks everyone for watching, whether you be watching it or listening to it on the podcast or whatever you do. Give it a like, give it a share. Myself and from Mike, take care everyone, stay safe, wash those hands, get your jabs when you have your appointments. I've had my first jab a few weeks ago, so I'm 85% there. And until next time, take care everyone, stay safe. Come on, you Irons, and up the Saints. Is that
up the Saints?
Up the Saints. So come on, you Irons, and up the Saints. Take care, everyone. Much love. Bye bye.